Hackers are going to be targeting small business in 2026, not just for the reasons you might think. There are existing reasons and kind of some new ones involved with AI. We're going to talk about that next.
Welcome to Tech Topics brought to you by Cybervenger. We help keep small businesses stay protected and compliant with cutting-edge cybersecurity and IT solutions.
All right, so 2026, small business is the big target. Why? Well, the first reason is that small business tends to be weaker and more vulnerable. It's inherent to the nature of the beast. Smaller companies don't have the leftover resources to do the compliance and to do security and maintenance. There's a fixed cost to doing those sort of things. And the proportion of those costs is larger in a smaller organization than in a bigger organization where these costs can be offset by just scale. And we talked about that before. Small business is kind of notorious for not doing compliance as well, for not doing cybersecurity and maintenance, for not patching as regularly, not inventorying, not being aware of where their data is, things like that. And that is a persistent problem that's going to carry over from previous times. Now, I've also talked about in other videos how the change in cybersecurity is and the threat actors, who's doing the bad stuff, right? And that's changed where it's larger, more organized threat actors that are going after big juicy targets because they tend to be state actors. That's the new trend, right? New as of 2025 and 2024. State actors became a big thing. Before it was more private criminals looking to make a couple bucks on ransomware or push advertisements or whatever. That is going to continue to persist as well, but whereas the state actors were really looking for big headlines because they had political aims, it's kind of hard to do. People are aware that the big juicy targets are big juicy targets. Big juicy targets tend to be defended. So this is kind of I'm playing devil's advocate to a degree to my own thinking, and it's something you want to do. You want to challenge your own assumptions. I've thought of state actors as being the threat because there's so much politically to gain from a successful cyber attack, and nations have so much money and resources compared to private criminals. But small businesses can make up a nice juicy target because the simple fact that there's a lot more of them. So that's the other reason. So they're generally less well defended, and there's a lot more of them. Okay, there's a lot more of them. That means a lot more work, right? Wrong. And this is the reason that I think small business is going to be the major target in 2026, because AI is transforming the nature of work. It's more about figuring out how to do a breach and then batching it out. Now, we've had scripts and bots doing things for years. That's not super new. But what AI can do, and what is being done more than we could do in the past, is to collate, disperse sets of data. It can scrub LinkedIn profiles. It can look at company posts. It can gather data on employees. It can look at resumes posted. It can piece together all kinds of information. Who knows who? It can look for patterns that humans normally wouldn't see because it could see more data. It's got a bigger picture than we do. It's unbelievable how much public information we post about ourselves over time, willingly, unwillingly, unwittingly, all the above. But there's a lot of data that is not easily parsed, but AI transforms the way that works, especially the kind of AI that the bad guys are developing. Now, the bad guys will use tools like ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok and all that, but they also are going to build their own that don't have the kind of safety restrictions and censorship and other things that the main players that we're used to using will use. A large language model, AI, can scrub emails that have been downloaded by a hacker and can summarize, hey, who knows who talks to who. You could ask, if you downloaded a bunch of email from a victim company, and you could say, who knows who's talking to who a lot, what are they talking about? And AI can summarize that all information. That's something a large language model will be more than capable of doing if you fed it the documents. And something that might take time for you to do, but you could do that company after company after company. All of a sudden, you have all these companies where maybe you managed to download some emails And now you know who the players are, and you can automatically target those players. Maybe you know that Bob in accounting frequently talks to Dale, the VP of whatever, and they both are working on some project for Jane in whatever department. You know these things, and now you could tailor emails that are similar to ones they've already gotten that are topic correct, and put your phishing links in there. And your phishing links can say things that they would expect to see. They can mimic a real person much, much better than a bot just sending out the same. How many of you have all gotten okay, Chase Bank? Pfft, I don't have Chase Bank, pfft, whatever. And then the next day you'll get one for QuickBooks, and the next day the company account. A dozen companies later, oh wait, I do have a Fifth Thirds account. Maybe, I got 50 other scams earlier. It's probably, you know when to spend your caution on the one or two emails. But now if all these emails are Fifth Thirds, because you are a Fifth Thirds customer or whatever you are, they're tailored. You can get 50 Fifth Thirds emails a day, and sooner or later, someone's more likely to fall for one. Just to give a general idea. But what if it's not, who your bank is, but what if it's something specifically going on in your company that nobody should know about? People don't often think that their emails are being read in a massive way. We have months worth of emails kind of up in our brain. We could think off the top of our head, like, hey, if I wanted to change the bank account, change the account number that my direct deposits are going to, who would I talk to? Well, there's 5 HR people. Maybe you send it to the head of HR, who may be listed online. Maybe not. Maybe it's something underneath that. But if you have company emails talking about those kinds of changes already, AI can find that for you way faster. If it takes you 40 hours to crack a nut, as a hacker, trying to get in there, it takes you 40 hours of labor, roughly, to get into one, and you're only getting $5,000 worth of ransom, or $10,000, whatever, it's not bad. But it's not as good as the $1 million payouts you get for large companies. Hey, if it took me 40 hours here, I go after a big company and do that. But small businesses with AI, now you can crack 50 company security and gather this information, this kind of intel on how to target them and further exploit them without having to sit there and read hundreds or thousands of emails and try and understand what they're talking about to know who's who. You suddenly understand, or AI understands, who's actually talking to who and what the relationships are personally. It's like getting an informant from that company to tell you how to target people from the inside. It's kind of like having a man on the inside. And that is why I think AI is going to make small business be the target of choice again. I think we're going to go full circle and back to that because of this tool, because it's just economics. You're going to be able to breach thousands of small companies with the same amount of effort that you could breach one big company. Which would you go after? 1,000 small payouts or one big one? Now, the bigger stakes. If you fail to collect, then all that work was for nothing. But if you have 1,000 shots and 80% of them work, you're definitely going to get something. So that's I think is the thinking of the attackers. Another thing to think about with small businesses is they are online more. They have more attack surfaces than ever before. That's true of all businesses, but small business would have, say, QuickBooks online because they're not large enough to justify having their own server room. The more cloud services, SaaS applications, software as a service, is used, the more attack surfaces you have out on the internet. It's another opportunity for a hacker to break in. Well, what do we do about all this? I have other videos we go into how to secure yourself, good password usage, multi-factor authentication is huge, partitioning your data so it's not all or nothing, all kinds of things like that. And basically, small business need to double down on making effort and time into executing those things. I don't want to get too much in this video because it's already a 9-minute video here and climbing. But the idea is that small businesses need to pay attention in 2026. So get cracking and take a look at some of our other videos coming down soon.
Thanks for watching. We hope this video has provided valuable information to you. Be sure to share this video with other small business owners to spread the word about the importance of cybersecurity. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. If you want more information about cybersecurity, visit us at www.cyberventure.com.